How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Zach Hicks, your resident film nerd of horseshoehuddle.com, and of course, your favorite co-host over at the Locked On Colts podcast. We are back for yet a fourth time this week. Today, we're going back to our Film Room Friday project, which is talking all about right guard Matt Goncalves. And again, I need to give the preface for this series again. We covered Matt Goncalves all throughout the preseason. I decided to make him my individual film room subject throughout the entire year, and he has surpassed my expectations in just about every single facet. Each game, he appears to just be getting better and better. He's allowed just 2 pressures thus far through 4 starts in his NFL career at right guard. And I don't even think someone like me, who had this very optimistic view of him coming into the year, I didn't even expect him to come out here and be this strong through 4 games. Again, 2 pressures allowed in the first month of play at right guard. Only 33 career starts at guard in his pro or college career combined coming into the year, and he's just been playing some really good football. So we're going to talk about how he did against the Las Vegas Raiders. A little bit of context before we jump into it. The Raiders' defensive line is probably the least stagnant defensive line I've seen all season. They do a lot of stunts, a lot of twists, and the Colts were a little bit unique in this game at just shifting the line towards Max Crosby at all times, making sure that Crosby didn't have those two-way goes against Braden Smith. So there weren't many one-on-one clips for Matt Goncalves in this game because they wanted him to help Braden Smith with Max Crosby as much as possible. So we're not going to see a ton of Gilligan's Island reps from Goncalves in this one, but overall, I still think it was a really strong game for him. I actually think it was his best run blocking game of the season as well. And we're going to start off here with a really fun run blocking clip. The Colts don't run the ball very much in the first half. They like to throw to set up the run, but this is one of the few runs they got. And we're just going to get this power play right up in the middle. We're going to get this inside run, some gap power. We're going to motion Tyler Warren into the backfield and have that 13 personnel set just to run this power right at the teeth of the Raiders defense. And really what you're looking for from the right guard and right tackle here is what we call vertical displacement. So when you are double teaming this block right here, you want just to drive this defensive tackle off the ball, create that displacement, and essentially work your way to the linebackers by driving the defensive tackle into their lap. This way, your running back is going to just have that more space to operate. Again, if this run gets 4 or 5 yards, that's a very positive run here because all we're trying to do, again, is just displace this defensive tackle, give the running back free running lanes. It's likely not going to turn into an 80-yard touchdown or a 50-yard touchdown in this case here, but it's a productive way to start a drive and get the positive yards. And what we see here from Braden Smith and Matt Goncalves is they work the 2-man game exceptionally well. They displace this defensive tackle so well off the ball. Look at this displacement we get from these two. Right there, Braden Smith gets low, Goncalves engages high, and just driving him off the ball, creating that vertical displacement. Goncalves even gets to that second level on the linebacker, and the Colts are able to get a 5-yard gain on the play. So it's one of those runs where, again, it keeps you ahead of sticks, it keeps you going, but these two guys are just working at a high level here on this power scheme, and we actually see it quite a few times in this game how Braden Smith and Matt Goncalves were just displacing these defensive tackles with ease in the run game, and that's why I think it was Goncalves' best game as a run blocker all season long because he was working so well on plays like this. So really good stuff there from Goncalves. Getting into a pass blocking clip here, again, you're going to see a little bit of what I'm talking about with just sliding the line to Max Crosby at all times. We're getting the slide to the right here, so we have Goncalves working half man with Tanner Bortolini. And if you look at Goncalves' eyes, though, the whole time, let me get these notations off here. If you look at Goncalves' eyes, they don't really leave Max Crosby. See, he's getting that good positioning on the defensive tackle here, but look where his eyes are. His eyes are looking out at Max Crosby because that's the threat here. And he knows he needs to keep that leverage on the interior for Braden Smith, make sure he's covering up those two-way goes. That way Braden Smith is not left on an island there. So even here, as he's getting that half man, we see Goncalves already working his way back out to Max Crosby, and this is one of the few times that Crosby decided to try that inside move, and Goncalves is able to get inside there, help his right tackle out in space, and give Daniel Jones the time he needs to deliver this throw. So again, this was a lot of what the Colts wanted to do all game long, was just slide that protection to Max Crosby, make sure Crosby can't go inside or out against Braden Smith, make Braden Smith just protect against the outside shoulder, So that way, if Crosby tried to go inside, Goncalves was there to help. It was very, very effective. Max Crosby didn't record a sack in this game. The Raiders didn't get a sack for the first time in like 40 games. So I think that this was a very effective plan for the Colts here. This clip here, you know what? I'm going to run the clip here first. And then I want to see if you guys understand why I'm so frustrated with this. Because technically, all things considered, because there was no penalty on this play, it is a pressure allowed by Matt Goncalves, I guess, if you really want to go into the gritty details of charting. But, man, this is such a frustrating play here. All right, so if you see Matt Goncalves here at right guard, I'm sure you notice what I noticed right away, is this is one of the clearest penalties that you'll ever see. I don't know what the refs are missing here. So the Colts are operating the two-man game here. Goncalves is actually the Gilligan's Island here, guard on the back side. So because they have that chip help on Max Crosby, they didn't feel the need to rotate the line that way. And Goncalves is in a good position here. He's got the hands inside. He's feeling out the potential twist because that's what the Raiders do. They're not a stagnant defensive line. And typically what we see with Goncalves is once he gets into this position right here, he will give that shove to that defensive tackle, keep his body square this way, and he will take that rusher coming this way. So when I first watched this clip and I didn't notice the hand up here, I was like, man, Goncalves just completely whiffed on this stunt here. But if you notice the hand of, I think this is Jonah Luwalu, Colts draft pick from last year, look what he does to create this. I mean, it's just holding. It's just defensive tackle holding here. I mean, this is the clearest penalty you could ever get on a defensive lineman. It creates that space, and because of that, Daniel Jones gets a hit on him. He misses an open throw to Josh Downs. I mean, this is clear as day a penalty on the defense. So I wanted to include this because I feel like if I didn't include this, somebody could be like, okay, Goncalves got beat here and you didn't talk about it, so maybe you're only cherry-picking positive plays. But the reason why this is such a clean win for the Raiders and why they get this hit on the quarterback is the most obvious penalty in the history of penalties here. I mean, it's a holding on the defensive line. I don't know what the refs are looking at. You got two guys right here looking at it. Extremely clear penalty, and it's unfortunate it leads to a hit on Daniel Jones. Luckily, Jones is able to get up from it, but it shows you that, you know, penalties are very important, obviously, because if they would have called that, Colts would have got the first down. If they didn't call that, or if that never happened, that penalty doesn't happen, Josh Downs gets a big gain for the Colts. So I digress. I just wanted to rant about that one because I watched it so many times on film, just frustrated that this wasn't called. Because, I mean, offensive linemen get penalties called on them for the most mundane things. We see snatch and traps get called all the time for holding when they're not holding. But when a defensive lineman does something like this, we don't get a penalty. Like, come on, man. Come on. But that's just the inner offensive lineman in me complaining about that. But getting to our next clip here, I digress again from just complaining about penalties and lack of penalties here. But really good two-man game from Goncalves and Bortolini. We're going to see them work this stunt really well. Bortolini gets hands-on quickly here at center. So let me get the play started here. Hands-on quickly. Goncalves, keep an eye right here, and then feels this guy closing in on him and is able to shift his focus and shift his momentum over there. And these guys just pick it up exceptionally well. Again, two young offensive linemen that maybe coming into the year this would have been a concern, but look how well they just eat this up here. Goncalves is staying square. You really like how his footwork is here. Staying square, hands-on, runs these guys into each other. Bortolini could have been a little bit stronger on the inside there, but overall I think these two played exceptionally well on this rep here. Passing that stunt off, giving Daniel Jones the time he needs, deliver a big throw down the field to Ashton Doolin on third down to get that first. So very, very good stuff, very good work from those two players. Here we actually get a rare Gilligan's Island rep from Matt Goncalves. He actually doesn't jump set it, so again, we haven't done Goncalves in 2 weeks, so let me just go back at it. Jump set is we're going to get that pitter-patter with the feet. We're going to close that gap on that defensive tackle, and we're going to get on him in a hurry. And that's what Goncalves usually likes to do when he is the island offensive guard. We didn't see it as much in this game because, again, they were focused so much on stunts and twists coming their way that I understand that if you jump set, you could get off your level and it could leave you susceptible to those stunts and twists. So instead, we're going to get more of an angle set from Goncalves. He's not going to retreat like vertical. He's not going to do any of that stuff. He's just going to kind of set where he is established on the offensive line, and he's going to get his hands on pretty quickly here. So when we run the clip, again, angle set, staying level with his offensive tackle and his center in case there's any stunts and twist. We're going to get that quick two-hand punch to the inside that the Colts have been doing all season long. So again, two-hand punch, really good positioning with them. feet square like we like to see. Everything is good here from Goncalves. And because this is going to be a quick hitter, because the Colts are an empty, the ball's coming out quick, Goncalves' main goal here is staying in between man and quarterback, making sure that there's no quick pressure. So he gets that two-hand punch, reworks the hands here, does a circle punch, gets back inside, drives the guy out. Really good rep from Goncalves, especially when you know the quick hitter is coming. Stuff we like to see from him, obviously, here. Getting to our next clip here, we get another kind of an island rep because they are shifting the offensive line to the left here. But really good two-man game from Braden Smith and Max Crosby. Again, just goes to show how just aware the Colts were of Max Crosby at all times here. So I really like this awareness too from Matt Goncalves is he gets up, gets hands on this defensive tackle in a hurry, and then quickly shifts his head back out to Max Crosby because you know that Crosby is a guy who he could start out here, but he'll end up over here, he'll end up in here, he'll end up out here. Like he is a very mobile and active defensive end. And that's exactly what Goncalves plays with. So again, quick two-hand punch jump sets that guy. But when you're going to jump set, when you're expecting this guy to move around so much, you have to be aware at all times to work back to that guy. So he gets that quick two-hand punch on his jump set and then shifts right inside to Max Crosby. Braden Smith passes it off really well, works back outside to the defensive tackle, stunting outside. And they're able to get the 2-point conversion. This flag didn't count. I tried to cut the flag out. You didn't see it. This was a good call, or a bad call there, again, by the refs. But, yeah, I think this was a really good rep here from Goncalves. Again, just working that two-man game with his right tackle. Even if you're going to jump set here and get off the line that you want with your right tackle when you're expecting a stunt, you have to have that quick awareness to pop back out if you have any just feeling that this is going to be a stunt. Does a really good job of working back into that window, getting his hands on Max Crosby, and just shutting down that stunt before it even gets started. Really, really good rep by both these guys too, because Braden Smith, I think, does a great job of staying on this block a little bit longer, just a touch longer to pass him off to Goncalves and allow him to get on top of the guy. So really good rep there on the 2-point conversion. Getting back to a running play, again, we're going to look at this combo block here from Braden Smith and Matt Goncalves. And again, we're not doing anything too crazy. We're not reinventing the wheel. It's just get that vertical displacement, get that guy off the line as far as possible, and then leave your running back some room just to work downhill. And these two, again, this is where they just thrive as run blockers. And I'm glad that this game was able to finally showcase it from both of them. Because it's just really good stuff here. Again, Goncalves getting high, getting that initial engagement on the defensive tackle, working to the linebacker, Braden Smith getting low like he's always been great at doing, and just driving that player off the ball. They create that separation. Defensive tackle is on skates, and they're able to get down to the 2-yard line. I don't even actually have it in here, but the very next play, they run the exact same run, and Braden Smith and Goncalves bowl over the defensive tackle for the touchdown run. So again, these two guys are just playing at a great level in the running game. Again, I think this was Goncalves' best overall performance in the run game this year, and I think it's because they did a lot more gap and power to him and Braden Smith's side. Here we got the touchdown run to Jonathan Taylor late in the game. At this point, the Raiders are just completely out of it, so we're going to pull Bortolini out in space. We're going to get Goncalves to steal here. So the two young offensive linemen are responsible for the linebackers, and these guys operate at a really high level. They're able to give that space needed to Jonathan Taylor at that second level, and Taylor's just able to walk in for a touchdown. Not really too much you can say here. I think this is a really good rep by Goncalves, where he helps Braden Smith control that block. Really strong right arm, and then works out into space on that linebacker. And this is not just any old linebacker in run defense here. I know he has a bad rep here because they were just getting destroyed all game long. But Landon Roberts is one of the most powerful, just forceful linebackers in football in the running game. And Goncalves makes quick work of him at the second level here, where he gets on him, and we're just able to drive him into the end zone. Walk-in touchdown for Jonathan Taylor. Really, really great stuff from the right guard there. There's just not so much more I can say about Goncalves at this point. He's just having a really strong season. And here, his final rep of the game. Luckily, they gave us one more Gilligan's Island rep against defensive tackle. This is in garbage time. Anthony Richardson's in the game. I think this is Amir Abdullah in the game. Jalen Travis on an island here with Max Crosby. And the Colts are fine with just giving sliding the offensive line to the left, away from the running back side, and letting Goncalves get on his Gilligan's Island, which, again, I'm glad they gave me one more rep of this. And we get the jump set, and we know from past experience, defensive tackles just aren't going to beat him in these jump sets. I mean, look at this again. Right as the ball is snapped, square, square. He's, half a yard down there, arms outside, arm inside, head up. This is everything you want to teach someone when it comes to jump setting as an offensive lineman. He does this exceptionally well. We've talked about it all season long. When he is jump setting defensive tackles as the Gilligan's Island guy, he's just hard to beat. So even as this defensive tackle is working really well, I think Goncalves does a good job moving with him, keeping those hands there. Got to be a little careful here. I think he could have moved those feet a little bit better and wrenched him out instead of kind of working with that right hand inside, but still does a good job of staying in between man and quarterback, giving the quarterback time to throw the ball. So overall, pretty promising rep there from Goncalves. So yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say about Goncalves at this point. He's kind of getting into boring territory where he's just putting up pretty good games every single week, but for me, it's never boring watching good offensive line play. Goncalves is blocking really well. I think his pass blocking has been exceptionally strong, and he's getting better at identifying stunts and twists. And then in the run game, we're seeing some positive progress in terms of working on those gap runs, driving guys off the ball with Braden Smith operating next to him. So yeah, the Colts have an ascending young right guard. I'm very excited watching him play, and you could see the difference with him on the field this week compared to what the offense looked like last week without him. Matt Goncalves is putting out a fantastic sophomore season, and hopefully he can continue this because the Colts are going to need to rely on him not only the rest of the year, but in the next coming years as well on this offensive line. So Matt Goncalves, another very strong performance, and we'll see if he can carry that into Arizona into Indy against the Arizona Cardinals here in Week 6.